Peace and blessings, and welcome back to I Am Not My Disability. I am Tabitha Marie. If you have not seen my first video, then I would suggest you pause this one and go back to that one so that this one would actually make sense to you. This is in no way clickbait. This is my true life story, and I'm going to tell it honestly, and it's going to create emotions within me, and that's okay. I'm okay with doing this. I need to do this because there are people in this world who are living with disabilities, seen and unseen, and they're afraid to tell their story. So maybe if they see me telling my story, they can tell their story. They'll find the strength. So as I said in the first video, when I was born, I didn't have a right arm. My left arm is deformed, and my right leg was deformed. My left leg was perfectly fine. And the doctors had decided that they were going to try to convince my mom to give custody of me up to them, to the state, so that they could try to figure out how I was born this way. Now, I don't have 2 arms and 2 legs to do air quotes, but figure out how I was born this way, right? And they kept coming to her room, sending doctor after doctor to try to convince her that this was the best thing for me. Now, how could the best thing for me be you experimenting on me? I don't get that. And my mom stayed adamant. No, that's my child. No, she's going home. No, that's my kid. But what really shook her to the core was when they sent the Catholic priest in. And the Catholic priest said that it would be better for her if she made this decision. There would no longer be any burden upon her if she did this. And my mom said, there's no burden on me now. That's my child. I will take care of my child. And then went into, but God would want you to for her. And God would want you to for you. So my mom got on the phone and she called my grandpa. My grandpa, this is where I get emotional. My grandpa is a strong lover of God and Jesus. Okay? The story is told that there were times that his mom was yelling out the door for him, calling him, but he was sitting in church. He was in church. Kids are out playing. My papa is sitting in church. So, my papa came to the hospital, and it just so happened that by the time he got there, another Catholic priest was in my mom's room, trying to convince her yet again that God wanted her to do this, to give her child away to the state of Louisiana and allow them to experiment upon her for science. Okay. So when my grandpa got there, remember, this man was a devout Christian. Okay. He's in heaven now, but he was a devout Christian. My grandpa cussed the Catholic priest out, y'all. He cussed the Catholic priest out. And he cussed those doctors out. And he told them to stay the hell away from his daughter and granddaughter. And he told them that I was his family. And I was coming home to be with my family. And they were going to raise me. And no one was going to take me from them. And they backed down. Because he was not having it. And so for a time, at the time I was 9 months, that is when I went into Children's Hospital, which at that time was called Crippled Children's. I hate that. But that's where I was. And I was a baby, so I don't remember a lot of that time at all, actually. But I was in there for the first close to 3 years of my life. And I came home on the weekends. And I don't know why I had to stay there that long, because it wasn't like I had to do therapy, seeing that I was just a baby, so I couldn't walk. But eventually, I think at like 1.5, they fitted me for an artificial leg. And when they put me in the artificial leg, instead of walking down the hall, I ran down the hall. And I can actually see this vividly because in Children's Hospital at that time, there were these poles. Do you know, like in a ballerina studio, they have the poles that they hold on to? Well, going down the halls of Children's Hospital were these poles so that kids like myself or anybody else they had the lower ones for the kids, the higher ones for like the elderly. If the elderly was walking up through the hall, they can hold on to the pole. And they told me, hold on to this pole, Tab, and we're going to take steps. And I remember this lady, I can't remember her name, but she went in front of me, and she went like, I don't know how far away. She wasn't too far away. And she's holding out her arms, and she's like, just take steps towards me, baby. Just take steps towards me. And I took off running. And I started running before I could walk. And to this day, I still think that's amazing. Till this day, I still say that is a testimony to the God within me. So that happened. And so I was there until 3. And then I went home permanently. And at home was my sister Nina. And she's a year younger than me. And she's one of my best friends in the world. And so I had to get to know my sister. And she had to get to know me because I was always in the hospital. And so I went home and got to know all of my family. I come from a huge family. And they never, just like I said in video 1, they never went, oh, poor her. Oh, we have to let her do this because she's disabled, or she can't do that, so we have to do it for her. No. They let me be like any other child in that family. And I thank them so much because now I can sit here before you unafraid and say, this is who I am. And this is how I look. And I am happy. I am proud to be me. And that is my hope for all of these videos. That you see me coming before you, video after video, being myself unapologetically, unafraid. And it gives you, it sparks something in you that you go, you know what? To hell with what they say. I decide who I am. I decide how I'm going to live. I decide how I'm going to feel. And that is what I want. Okay, so as I got older, I was always in the Special Olympics. And I loved it. Every year I was ecstatic when the Special Olympic time came. And I attended a school called Lafayette. and I was placed in a class for children with disabilities up until the third grade. But from kindergarten to third grade, I participated in the Special Olympics, and it was awesome. And I remember one year being in the newspaper because the guy that I ran against was my friend, and his name was Stevie. I will never forget his name. And his name was Stephen Allen, and we called him Stevie. If you happen to ever see this video, oh my God, please contact me. So we went in a race, and I was running faster than Stevie. And I stopped, and I waited for him. And he caught up to me. And I slowed down my speed so that we can both cross the line together. And the news people came and started asking me questions, like interviewing me. And I remember going, but what about Stevie? What about Stevie? And he said, oh, we'll talk to Stevie. We'll talk to Stevie. But he didn't. So when the newspaper came out, I was ecstatic to see myself in the paper. But as my mom read the article to me, I was like, but what about Stevie? And she said, it doesn't say anything about your friend, baby. I was so mad, y'all. I wanted to find that newspaper man and beat him silly. I wanted to hurt him because Stevie should have been in the newspaper too. But Stevie was never fazed. I was his friend, and I waited for him, and that's what mattered to him. And when we got back to school that Monday, because it happened on a Friday, and we were in the newspaper on Sunday. So when we got back to school on Monday, my teacher, one of my teachers, had bought a cake for me and Stevie, congratulating us. And I thought that was friggin' awesome. I thought that was awesome. My teacher's name was Michael Marzak. I'm dropping names on here. I don't know if these people even want that. But if for whatever reason you are out there and you happen to see this video or you happen to know a Michael Marzak that worked at Lafayette Elementary School, will you please tell him thank you from Tabitha? So getting a little older, right? My cousin Michelle, who is no longer here in the physical, in my 20s, she would always come to my house and she said, can I tell you something? Can I be honest? I'm like, yeah. And she was like, I was worried when you were young. I was worried that you would never find a true love. A guy who would love you, for you, accept you as you are. And I'm so grateful that she got to meet him. That she got to witness the very beginning of me meeting him. She got to see in his eyes that he truly was in love with me and that he accepted me no matter what. She passed away in 2009. So she got to see a lot of us, our relationship growing and blossoming. And I've had this beautiful guy in my life for 24 years now. And he's amazing. And he is the most outstanding father to my daughter that I could have ever asked for. So I'm telling you that part of my story. Because if you are a being with disabilities or deformities, if you are a being without disabilities or deformities, and you feel because maybe you're too short, too tall, too thin, too big, whatever the case may be, you too will find your true love. Now, I had to kiss a few toads before I found my prince. I had to kiss a few toads. And you may have to as well. But you will find your true love. And I tell you, it is the most amazing thing in the world. I have flaws. We all do. And he loves every last one of them. And I don't care what crazy idea I come up with, what type of shenanigans I drum up. Sometimes I literally make up stuff just to see what he's gonna say. And he's always, let's do it. Let's go, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, like I made that up. Now you just being crazy. And he's like, no. If you really want to do it, let's do it. I love him. He's amazing. You will have that in your life. You deserve that in your life. You are worthy to have that in your life. I am worthy of having that in my life. And I'm grateful. So very grateful. Some of the things that I want to share with you guys in future videos. I would like to show you how I cook with my arm. I am very capable of cooking. I love to cook for my family and for myself. Sometimes I even cook for others and they pay me. So there's that. You can achieve anything you want to do if you set your mind to it. I'm also going to share things like my journaling and my meditation and my prayer time and all of those things, because I want you to see my life as it truly is. So you will never, ever see me come on these videos and they be perfect and the lighting be perfect and my clothing is perfect and I make up to the max and I got fake hair on my head. If I can't come before you guys and just be me, you will never see another video from me. I can't be fake. In order for me to help you see the beauty in you, raw, the raw beauty in you that is right now, I have to show you the raw beauty in me. And that's just how it is. There is so much more to my life. And I look forward to sharing it with you guys. I am honored for the people who have liked and subscribed my first video and who have subscribed to my channel. I'll be doing interviews, as I said before, with not just people who have disabilities, but also caregivers and people in the medical industry who might do things like therapy, physical and occupational therapy, and just people in general who are motivators. I want motivators to come on here with me and do interviews so that I won't be the only one motivating and inspiring. I want love to just flow through this channel. That is my goal. And I'm going to say this right here, right now. If you are in the comments and you have negative things to say, it won't be seen and it will never be addressed. That is not going to happen. So you're going to have to find somewhere else to go. That's that. This is a space of love, a space of hope, a space of triumph. That is what we're doing here. And I am so grateful to have you all here with me doing this each and every video. you can find me on Instagram. I will have the link to that in my about section. But on Instagram, I'm Not My Disability is where you can find the Instagram page for this. But I also have a personal one, which is I Am Tabitha Marie. You are welcome to come over there as well. I will see you all in the next video. I am Tabitha Marie, and I deeply love you. Thank you for being here.